Welcome to Phil Wilson Chats with Celebrities. And here's your host, Phil Wilson.
With his era-defining smash hit, the one and only, film star Good Looks and boy next door charm, Chesney Hawkes was one of the UK's biggest pop stars of the 90s. 3 decades on, Chesney is firing on all cylinders as he has returned to the UK from LA to introduce himself to brand new audiences with the hot new single, Get a Hold of Yourself. His first all new music in more than a decade, with a cheeky video too to go with it. And Chesney joins me now. How are you doing, Chesney?
I'm good, Phil. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely elated because after trying to get over you to get you on the show over the last couple of years, it's been absolutely crazy. So I'm just delighted to be able to speak to you and bring you to my radio shows and to viewers as well that'll be watching this on the channel as well on YouTube. Now, I must say, welcome back to the UK. Are you settling back in all right?
Yeah, we are. It's kind of, we're living in Cardboard City because we were away for 12 years in the States. So,
wow.
You know, it's pretty crazy in the house, but I mean, not that I'm ever there. I'm in Copenhagen at the moment. I was in Helsinki yesterday. You know, I'm touring. I've got all sorts going on. I've got this record, actually doing well and charting and stuff. So I'm happy and just going crazy right now. It's fun.
Which is excellent as well, yeah. Now, it looked like an emotional return from LA with you saying goodbye to your studio with so many memories. What will you miss the most apart from the sunshine in LA?
Yeah, well, that is definitely the number one thing I'll miss for sure. But, it's an interesting way of life over there. Very, very different to the UK. I'll miss friends, sushi. You know,
yes.
they know how to do sushi over there. But, I'm so much happier in England. I feel like I'm grounded, at home in the motherland. You know, they don't know how to do beer over there. So I'm happy with a nice English pint and, pub culture, footy banter, the green and pleasant land that we live in. I'm so happy to be back.
Excellent. Well, it's great to see you back here in the UK as well, because we've missed you.
Ah, bless you.
Yes, we have. Now, for listeners discovering your music, when did your love of music begin?
I came from a rock and roll family, to be honest. My dad was in a band called the Tremolos. Your older listeners would know who they are.
Yes.
So, Dad's friends were all superstars, like Jerry Marsden from Jerry and the Pacemakers, and bands like the Marmalade and the Searchers and all those kind of stuff. He toured with the Who and the Beatles and all that kind of stuff. So that's where it all came from, really. My brother and sister and I were never going to be accountants, put it that way.
Now, you've just mentioned there your father, Len Chip Hawkes, was, of course, in the beat group The Tremolos, who had 2 number 1 hits in the 60s with Do You Love Me and Silence is Golden, amongst many other hits. What was it like often having, 60s rock and rollers around the house there, with your father being in the Tremolos?
I saw a lot as a kid. probably not a lot that I could tell on your family-friendly radio show.
That's right. It's maybe before the watershed.
Yeah. This is post-watershed stuff. So it was a very a liberal upbringing, shall we say?
Yes. Well, we'll talk about the liberation, as it were, with your new video a little bit later on, because you're certainly liberated on there.
I certainly am.
Yeah. Did your father give you much advice before going into the music business?
Yeah, my dad has been through it. He's toured all over the world, and he had hits in the 60s and obviously went through that whole crazy experience. So he obviously had advice for me, like things like he told me not to believe the hype, don't believe what people are saying, whether it's good or bad, or the media, good or bad, just keep neutral. That was always a good advice. And the other one was just always play live, never come off the road. And so I've stuck with those two at least.
You certainly have. Did your dad ever actually write any songs for you, or write with you, collaborate on anything?
I've collaborated with the old man over the years here and there, especially early on. You know, I mean, he taught me a few chords here and there, and yeah, I mean, we don't really collaborate so much these days, but although I've kind of filled in for him as lead singer of the Tremolos for a couple of tours here and there. So yeah, I mean, I still trust him as a good sounding board for new songs.
Yeah, because when I spoke to Marty Wilde, he had he gave a lot of advice to Kim and that when she was starting out. Yeah. And then when he wrote Kids in America for her, it was like, he was sitting in the kitchen one day and he went, wow, you are a star. So what was it like when you came to fruition there, with your stardom there? What did he think of that?
Well, early days he was managing me. I know Marty, by the way. Marty's an old friend of Dad's.
So yes.
Kim and I have that in common, famous dads that kind of helped out in the beginning. And also I'm friends with Ricky, her brother, who's very talented.
Yes.
Yeah. He co-wrote The Kids in America and he's her guitarist now. But anyway, yeah, so he's very, very much supportive over my career and still is. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Now, we're going to fast forward now. Now, in 1991, the big screen beckoned you with a part starring in the now cult classic Buddy's Song. What was it like appearing in the big screen role?
Well, I'd never acted before. I was only young, like 17, when I was going up for that part. And to be honest with you, Phil, the only reason that I went up for that part is that I saw a record deal at the end of it. So, as I said, never acted. I just thought I'd just go for it, because it was about a young singer-songwriter, which was very similar to me at the time,
Yeah.
But it was amazing experience, and it's something that I would love to repeat, to be honest with you. I really liked the acting, and I've done a little bit of acting here and there over the years, but my passion for music has always kind of superseded that.
Because I absolutely loved the film, and I actually managed to get a copy of it on VHS. Would you believe? Yes, and I actually watched the video. It was great, actually. The video, the VHS. The video when it came out, because it's got the one and only on there. It's got the international version on there. Where you've got you're doing a concert kind of thing, singing the one and only. Also, it's got that interview on as well there, and you've got your cool shades on, and you're by the swimming pool.
I remember that interview. That was very funny. I mean, that is classic, of the time, kind of the hair and the shades and the slightly like top slightly off, sitting by the pool.
Yeah. And I think the interviewer said, where are you going to be in the next 10 years? And you said, well, I think I'll be doing quite a couple of movies and things. And I'm hopefully going to be, but it was really good because, people are like that now still. Yeah. They put it all out there and they'll say, this is what I want to do, Yeah. And back then, that was actually quite, not everyone was doing what you were doing there, Chesney. And it's actually really, really good.
Yeah, well, it's positivity. I do believe in that. Yeah. What you put out there is what you get back in life, and you have to have dreams. You have to believe in yourself. And though I work a lot with young artists, and I can always tell the ones that are going to make it, because it's not the ones that are talented, although some of them are. But like if you don't have that drive and belief in yourself, you're not going to do it. And I was quite precocious as a kid. As you could tell from that interview.
Yes. Yeah, I absolutely love it there. Yes, I've converted it to digital there, so I've got it on me memory stick there. But a great film there. Now, not everyone will have seen the film, so I've got to just say to you, what was it like performing on screen there with Roger Daltrey?
Yeah, Roger was very supportive of me, kind of a father figure. Obviously, he played my dad in the film, so he had some great advice for me in those days as well. He's tough, he says it like it is, and that I appreciate. And we've stayed in contact all these years. Haven't seen him for a couple of years now, but he was always very much a supporter of mine.
And what was Michael Elphick like? Was he a bit of a comedian on set?
Michael was wonderful, really lovely guy, and of all the people in that cast, he took me under his wing, and because I'd never acted before, and everybody else, especially the kind of young cast that were in it, Nick Moran, Lee Ross, Julia Sawalha, Lisa Walker. All these great actors that had already worked a lot in film and TV, I just came along and took the lead part, and I'd never acted before. So I don't know, I needed a little bit of guidance, and Michael Elphick was amazing, and Sharon Juice, who played my mum, she was wonderful too.
Yeah, you had a lovely family kind of combination there on screen. It really shows through there. Have you ever considered releasing it on DVD? Because I believe that there was an uncut version that you put on your own channel, which I was actually going to hunt for before speaking to you, just to see. Because I think with the British Film Institute kind of thing, the people who do all the censoring and things, I think there was too much, a bit bare bums or something.
Yeah, I think nudity. I think there's a pair of boobs in there, and nudity is following me around, Phil.
Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Now, the album Buddy Song spurned some hit songs, including The One and Only. Did you have a feeling that was going to be a big hit?
I was so young, and I just presumed that putting a record out means you're going to have a hit. I was so ready for that at that age, and I kind of knew it was going to do well, but that might just be my precociousness and my kind of belief in myself at that time. Time chips that away, doesn't it, Phil? But
it does. That's right.
Yeah, you got to try and keep that positivity in life for sure, because that will definitely help you in later life as well. But yeah, I always thought that I was going to have success, and that's not me being like big-headed or anything. I just knew that I had something, and always believed that I would do it. So yeah.
Because it's the first time that I saw you performing The One and Only. Were you on a TV show called Number 73 or something? Because I remember you were in an attic of this kind of building and you were performing live. And as soon as I saw you performing on there, it was like, wow, this is definitely going to be a hit, this. But can you remember that one? Because I can't remember what show it was. I've tried to have a little search, but it looked like you were in like an attic kind of thing, and you were all set up, and it was just amazing. So we'll have to rack our brains, and maybe next time I speak to you.
Can't recall that one. Number 73? No, I don't know. I mean, I did a lot back in those days, as you can imagine, yeah.
Exactly, which of course got you that number one single, which everybody, no matter what age, if you go, do you know the one and only? They go, what? And you go, I am the one and only. They go, oh yeah, I know that one. No matter what age, are you quite surprised at how it's still as popular as ever right now?
Yeah, I'm very grateful to that, to be honest. It's crazy. It's been 33 years since we released that record, and it really does still have a resonance up and down the country. It's quite amazing. I hear stories about it, and I'm grateful to it because now I'm able to come and talk to you, and I'm able to talk about new music, which I think really is a testament to that record. Still having some kind of relevance. So,
of course. Now, you have released 5 studio albums, if my information is correct, including Buddy Song was in 1991, The One and Only in 1991, Get the Picture in 1993, Another Fine Mess in 2007, and Real Life Love in 2012. Now, if you had to choose one track off an album to play me as your favourite to perform, what would it be?
Oh, of all of my albums that I've released so far?
Of all your albums, yeah.
Wow, that's a good question. Well, it depends what mood you're in. What mood you're in, Phil?
Well, I'm in a bit of a chilled mood at the minute.
You're in a bit of a chill?
Because I like your Secrets of the Heart, you see.
Okay. Well,
Looking glass.
Yeah. So if we're thinking chill, well, how about there's a song on my Real Life Love album called Flashback Heroin.
Wow. Oh, I like that one. And I'll tell you another one. I'll spin that one. I'll tell you another one as well, which I was quite surprised didn't get into the top 10, which was What's Wrong with This Picture? What happened with that one?
I don't know. That was from my second album that I wrote with Nick Kershaw. And it was at a time, I think, the zeitgeist kind of had moved on a little bit from kind of, the 80s sounding pop records, and it had kind of, Nirvana had just come out and obviously blew everything else away in the music industry. And I think that's all it was, really. It was just a timing issue,
Because it's got the drive and rhythm and everything. It's got everything that a pop song should have.
Yeah, it was a good pop record, that's for sure. It was a big hit in many parts of Europe, but for some reason it just it didn't even connect in England, unfortunately. But I still get that requested at gigs.
Excellent. I'll have to come along and have a listen to you perform that. Definitely. It'll be a great thrill. Now, you released the complete picture, the albums 1991 to 2012 in 2022, which included archive recordings and video footage. What's it like looking back at what you've achieved so far? And are there any particular highlights you can tell us about?
Yeah, that was a fun project, a box set of all of my albums. I had a lot of people kind of saying, what's it going to be like, 5 CDs of just the one and only? So I was like, no. Do you think I just sat on my bum and did nothing for the last 30 years? Once an artist, always an artist. So, as you quite rightly said, there are 5. Actually, there's 5 studio albums and another project called Marvelous Mechanical Mouse that I put out around, I think it was 2012 as well, 2014, something like that. I kind of collated all of those albums and found some archive footage and all the old videos and Top of the Pops performances and all that kind of stuff. And we put together a really nice box set with Chrysalis Records. And it was fun. It was fun kind of going back and finding there's alternative mixes of the one and only and of the songs from the film, like the actual film versions of the songs. And just long lost demos of songs from over the years, and it was really fun to do that. Actually,
I'll have to try and get a hold of that box set. It's a massive one there, and definitely something that everyone's going to have to get a hold of, especially with all the bonus bits and the demos that I've looked at on there. They'll be really something exciting for the number one Chesney Hawkes fans out there. Now, your new single, Get a Hold of Yourself, is really refreshing, and there is a cheeky video to go with it. You must have looked after yourself, Chesney, over the years, as my body has all gone south.
Oh, bless you, Phil. Yeah, this video has caused a bit of a stir, actually. The song is called Get a Hold of Yourself, and it's basically about self-empowerment and freedom of self-expression. You get to a certain age, I'm in my 50s now, and you feel like you've earned the right to not give a what about what other people think. And it's like it's okay to be you, and that's something that I think is very important with kind of self-discovery and everything. So that's what it's about. And I wanted to do something very bold and brave for the video, and I did.
You certainly have.
Yeah, I ended up naked, and it literally is naked for the video, prancing around, dancing around a stately mansion.
I was thinking, is that your home?
No, I wish. That was actually
the one and only.
Yeah, it was Thomas Shelby's house from Peaky Blinders.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. But yes, everyone's going to have to get over there to your YouTube channel there and watch that video there, Chesney Hawkes there. And yes, in the all together in the birthday suit there.
In the birthday suit,
get a hold of yourself.
Leaves nothing to the imagination. I'm swinging in the wind, Phil.
That's right, and you've got all those props there in front of you, which are quite cheeky and comedic as well, which really it looks really good. I absolutely love the video. Placed. So everyone get yourself over there to Chesney Hawkes' YouTube channel to watch that video for Get a Hold of Yourself. Yeah. Now, is there an album in the pipeline that's coming up soon?
Yeah, no, this single and video is just the beginning, this is part of a wider project. We have an album ready to go, which I'm so excited about, produced with Jake Gosling, who's responsible for people like Ed Sheeran and Lady Gaga and Sam Smith,
Wow.
all sorts of people. Paloma Faith, so we produced this record together, and it was such a fun thing to do. So yeah, an album and tour to follow, but right now it's all about the single. So go and stick it on your Spotify playlists and download it on iTunes. Let's try and get it in the charts. That's what I want. That'd be my birthday present. That'd be the best.
Yes, everyone get out there now. Get a hold of yourself and get a copy of Chesney Hawkes' brand new single of the same name.
Perfect.
Now, the vinyl revival is upon us, Chesney, so I must ask you, what is the first vinyl record you ever bought, and what track would you play me if you had a record player beside you?
Wow. Well, I mean, listen, I discovered my dad's vinyl collection at a very, very early age, and it was probably 80% Beatles. It wasn't the first thing I bought, but it's the first one I discovered. And I would say the White Album was probably my favorite. The Beatles, the White Album.
Yes.
You could literally play anything from that album. But I'm going to go with Mother Nature's Son. Still one of my all-time favorite McCartney ballads. He is the king of beautiful melodies.
It is beautiful as well. Is Blackbird on there as well?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
another McCartney beauty. Yeah, and there's also another McCartney beautiful song, Martha, My Dear. I love that song.
Oh, that is lovely as well. Yes, and of course you kind of forget the Glass Onion as well.
Oh, of course. I love Glass Onion and Helter Skelter. I mean,
yes,
USSR's on there. I mean,
yeah,
there's so many amazing songs on that. Incredible.
Yeah. That's an excellent choice there, Chesney. Now, you're not going to believe this. We've run out of time. So, it just leaves me to say thank you so much, Chesney, for joining me on the show. If you can stick around a moment, because I'm going to have a little chat with you while we're playing the record and listening to it together.
Yeah.
Finally, could you introduce your latest single, Get a Hold of Yourself, out
Absolutely.
now?
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Phil. I really appreciate it. This is my new single, Get a Hold of Yourself.
Chesney, thank you so much for joining me on the show. And would you like to come along on the show again in the future, or have I frightened you away?
I'll definitely do it again. I'll bring a guitar next time.
That'll be excellent.
Yeah, perhaps when the album's out. Let's do it.
Excellent. We'll speak to you soon, and thanks again.
Thanks, Phil. Cheers.